you ever been like lying in bed right on the edge of sleep, maybe around 2 in the morning, and you hear it?
Oh man, that sound. Just a faint scratching.
Yeah, exactly. A faint rhythmic scratching sound coming from directly above your ceiling. And in that one single second, your entire perception of your home just completely changes.
Right, because you realize you're not alone.
You realize that this fortress you bought, the place you consider entirely yours, is actually just this hollow, climate-controlled tree to the rest of the animal kingdom.
It's true. It completely shatters your sense of security.
Mm.
When you go from feeling totally protected to feeling invaded in the blink of an eye.
And your first instinct is usually just sheer panic. So today, in this deep dive, we are going to channel that panic into a masterclass on how to actually reclaim your territory.
Which is so needed
Okay.
because people really don't know what to do when this happens.
No, they don't. We're unpacking the surprisingly sophisticated, highly engineered world of nuisance wildlife control. And to do this, we are looking at a primary source detailing the operations of a premier company in this field.
Right, the Critter Squad Inc.
Exactly. Based in Rosharon, Texas, operating out of 2815 Nickel Canyon Drive, serving Brazoria County and the greater South Houston area.
And what stands out immediately in these sources, I mean, right off the bat, is that this is not your stereotypical, guy in a pickup truck with a rusty cage.
Right, not at all.
This company was founded in 2014 by Zach and Taylor Holman, and they bring over 15 years of combined experience to resolving these conflicts for both residential and commercial properties.
Yeah, and the detail that really frames their entire approach, at least for me, is their background. They are military veterans.
Mm-hmm. Which is a huge detail.
And I want to stop right there because my first thought was, how does military precision actually translate to dealing with a family of raccoons?
It's a fair question.
Because wild animals do not follow a chain of command, right? They don't care about your standard operating procedures.
They really don't. And it seems counterintuitive at first, but wildlife removal, when it's done at this elite level, is intensely systematic.
Okay, how so?
Well, think about it. You are walking into a chaotic situation. Let's say an attic full of erratic animals, compromised wiring, biological hazards.
Basically a war zone in your ceiling.
Literally.
Mm-hmm.
And a military background translates perfectly here because it trains you to maintain situational awareness. You have to identify structural vulnerabilities, establish a secure perimeter, and, neutralize a threat methodically so it never returns.
Yeah, so it's essentially a tactical operation applied to urban ecology.
Exactly. It's highly calculated.
That reframes the whole industry for me. I mean, it takes it from basic pest control to tactical home defense.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
And the source material really backs that up when it discusses the science and the standards they operate under. The Critter Squad elevates this whole process from a simple catch-and-release gig to a genuinely science-backed profession.
Mm-hmm. They are fully licensed and insured in Texas.
Right, but they're also members of the National Wildlife Control Operators Association, or NWCOA.
And that membership is a crucial differentiator.
Mm.
I mean, the wildlife control industry has evolved so dramatically over the last couple of
It
decades.
used to just be extermination, right?
Yeah, exactly. But now it is about architectural exclusion and behavioral science.
Uh-huh.
NWCOA represents a commitment to ongoing education and, the most advanced industry best practices.
Okay, let me play the skeptic for a second here.
Go for it.
If I'm a homeowner and I hear that awful squeaking above my bedroom ceiling, I just want the animals gone yesterday.
Oh, of course.
Why should I care if the person I hire is studying industry best practices? I mean, if they can just grab the animal and toss it in the woods, isn't that enough?
That is the most common reaction, for sure. But it is also the reaction that ends up costing homeowners tens of thousands of dollars in secondary damage.
Wait, really? Tens of thousands?
Oh, yeah. Let's look at the mechanics of bat removal, which the source explicitly highlights. The Critter Squad uses methods approved by Bat Conservation International.
Okay.
Now, you might hear conservation and think it's purely about protecting the animal, but let's look at the actual protocol. They strictly perform bat removals outside of the maternity season.
Right, because during maternity season, there are flightless baby bats in the colony.
Exactly.
But if my primary goal is just to clear out my attic, why wouldn't I just, seal up the hole they're flying out of and be done with it?
Because if you seal that entry point during maternity season, the adult females are locked out, but the flightless pups are locked inside.
Oh, and they can't survive without the mothers.
No, they will die inside your wall voids. Dozens, sometimes hundreds of them, depending on the colony size.
That is, wow, that's a nightmare.
It is. From a purely practical homeownership standpoint, you have just traded a noise complaint for a catastrophic biological hazard.
Because of the decomposition.
Exactly. Decomposing bats will quite literally melt your drywall with fluids.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it attracts massive swarms of blowflies, and it creates a stench that literally makes the house uninhabitable.
So to fix that, you're not just calling a trapper anymore.
Nope. You aren't just paying a wildlife trapper, you're paying a contractor to come in, rip out walls, remove the carcasses, and replace all your insulation.
Okay, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Following those biological guidelines isn't just about being humane. It is literally the only effective way to protect the physical structure of the property.
Precisely. Doing it the right way is better for both the ecosystem and your wallet.
So how do they actually get the bats out when it isn't maternity season? The source mentioned something called one-way exclusion valves.
Yeah, this is a great example of using an animal's natural behavior against it.
How does it work?
So a one-way valve is often a smooth plastic tube, like PVC, or a specific type of netting system installed right over the entry point.
Okay.
Bats use echolocation, right? And they drop from their roosts to gain momentum for flight. So they slide down this smooth tube and fly off to hunt for insects at night.
Oh, I see. But when they come back?
Exactly. When they return to the house at dawn, they try to climb back up the tube.
But they can't.
Right, because the interior is completely smooth plastic. Their tiny claws can't find any purchase. They physically cannot grip the surface to crawl back inside.
That is brilliant.
It really is. After a few days, the entire colony has essentially evicted itself, and the technicians can safely remove the tube and seal the hole permanently with steel.
It's so incredibly simple, but so smart. But the source material makes it clear that Brazoria County isn't just dealing with bats.
Oh, definitely not.
The strategies have to shift entirely based on the animal, so let's look at raccoons.
Raccoons are a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, the text notes they cause massive damage to attics, soffits, ductwork. For them, the Critter Squad uses trapping, but they specifically highlight baby raccoon retrieval. And here's where I kind of want to push back again. Crawling through a 120-degree Texas attic, wading through itchy fiberglass to find hidden baby raccoons sounds dangerous and absolutely miserable.
It is. It's brutal work.
So why not just set a trap on the roof, catch the mother, relocate her, and seal the hole? Call it a day.
Because you are severely underestimating the brute strength and the maternal drive of a female raccoon.
Really? Are they that strong?
Oh, yeah. If you trap a mother and haul her away, but you leave her kits in the attic, those kits will eventually starve.
Right.
But before that happens, if she escapes or if you haven't taken her far enough away, she will return to that house.
It'll get to her babies.
Exactly. And a mother raccoon separated from her babies will not look for an easy way in. She will use her hands, which are incredibly dexterous, to literally tear asphalt shingles right off your roof. Nope. She will chew through thick plywood and completely destroy your roof line just to get back inside.
So she just becomes a one-animal demolition crew.
Precisely. And if she doesn't make it back, you again have that severe decomposition issue in your insulation we talked about with the bats.
Oh, right.
So the concept of baby retrieval really highlights their core operational philosophy. You have to solve the root of the problem. You use the babies safely to lure the mother into a trap, keeping the family unit together and completely eliminating the threat to the house.
Wow. So it's about anticipating the cascade effects of the removal, like chess moves.
Exactly.
That really highlights why you can't just, watch a quick online video and handle this yourself.
Definitely not a DIY situation.
The source actually walks through a whole rogues gallery of specific threats. You have squirrels chewing through roof lines. You have roof rats.
Roof rats.
Yeah, and the text uses a very specific word for roof rats. It calls them persistent.
That's putting it mildly.
It notes that dealing with them requires complete rat-proofing to stop the infestation at the source.
Yeah, the persistence of a roof rat is basically a biological marvel, which makes it a structural nightmare for a homeowner.
What makes it so bad?
Well, rats have a skeletal structure that allows their rib cages to essentially collapse and flatten out.
Oh, gross.
Yeah. If a rat can fit its skull, which is roughly the size of a quarter, through a gap in your fascia board, it can squeeze its entire body through.
Wait, a gap the size of a quarter?
Yep.
That is absolutely terrifying.
And their front incisors never stop growing, which means they're compelled to chew constantly just to file them down.
So they chew on the house.
They will gnaw through aluminum siding, wood, cinder block, and electrical wiring.
Which is a massive fire hazard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you just set snap traps in the attic,
Yeah.
you are only treating a symptom. You have to implement complete rat proofing, which means retrofitting the entire perimeter of the roof line.
Like sealing every single gap.
Yes, sealing every tiny construction gap with heavy gauge galvanized steel mesh that they physically cannot chew through.
Man, it really is an arms race against nature.
It truly is.
And the threats aren't just coming from the roof either. The
Mm.
source details ground threats like skunks burrowing under decks and armadillos digging up foundations.
Right.
They use humane trapping for these, but then they install what they call underground burrow prevention barriers.
Hmm.
My question is, how does a barrier stop an animal that literally evolved to dig?
Well, it comes down to understanding digging behavior.
Mm,
If you just bury a straight piece of fence down into the ground, a skunk or an armadillo will just dig deeper until they get under it.
because they just followed the wall down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the critter squad used the technique called exclusion trenching.
What's that?
They dig a trench around the foundation, they install a heavy steel mesh down into the dirt, and then, here's the trick, they bend the bottom of the mesh outward at a 90-degree angle.
Okay, so it creates an L shape.
Yes, an L shape pointing away from the house.
Oh, I get it. So when the animal digs down,
They hit the horizontal part of the wire, and their brain tells them to keep digging down, but they can't get through the steel.
and they don't realize they can just back up.
Right, they don't understand the concept of backing up and starting a new hole further away, so they just eventually give up and leave the property entirely.
That is fascinating, just outsmarting them with geometry.
Very much.
We also have to mention the threats that just, make your blood run cold. Snakes,
Oh yeah, Texas has plenty of those.
copperheads, rattlesnakes, cottonmouths, and non-venomous rat snakes. The Critter Squad handles snake trapping and snake proofing,
Which is highly specialized.
plus birds, which nest in exhaust vents and on ledges. The source mentions removing active nests and installing bird proofing.
And, birds might seem harmless compared to a rattlesnake, but bird nesting creates profound structural and sanitation concerns.
How so? Like from the dropping?
Yeah, bird droppings are highly acidic.
Hmm.
Over time, they will literally eat through roofing materials and commercial HVAC equipment.
Wow, I had no idea.
Plus, bird nests in exhaust vents are prime fire hazards, and the nests themselves bring in secondary pests like bird mites.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and those mites will migrate right through the vents directly into the living spaces of the home.
Okay, that is disgusting. Which actually brings us to the most crucial revelation in this entire deep dive.
Mm-hmm.
We always assume that catching the animal is the main event. Like, it's the dramatic part you'd see on a reality show. But the source material explicitly states wildlife removal is only half the job.
Yes. This is where we get into the unseen battlefront, the aftermath.
Right. If we use a disaster recovery analogy here, catching the raccoon or the rat is just putting out the fire.
Exactly.
But putting out the fire doesn't make the house livable again. You have to rebuild the structure so it doesn't catch fire again, and you have to clean up the smoke damage.
That's a perfect analogy.
The source breaks this down into 3 phases: animal damage repair, wildlife exclusion, and sanitation.
Let's start with the physical repair and exclusion. Because when we say repair, we aren't talking about slapping some chicken wire over a hole and calling it a day.
Right, that's what I would do, but I guess that doesn't work.
No, it really doesn't.
Okay.
Wildlife exclusion requires advanced construction skills. They are repairing damaged sockets, fascia, and vents using materials specifically rated to withstand future wildlife pressure.
So, like, heavy-duty stuff.
Galvanized steel, specialized sealants, custom vent covers. You are fortifying the perimeter.
But the final phase, the sanitation and decontamination, seems to be where the real invisible danger lies.
Absolutely.
The source details attic cleanouts, removing dead animals, guano decontamination, and eliminating severe odors and health risks from urine and feces. I mean, it sounds like literal biohazard cleanup.
It is exactly that.
Yeah.
And the biology behind why it matters is critical. Let's look at bad guano, for instance.
Okay.
It's not just dirt. As bad guano breaks down in a dry, hot attic, it can harbor a fungus called Histoplasma capsulatum.
Okay, that sounds bad.
It is. If someone goes up into that attic and kicks up the dust, those microscopic fungal spores become airborne. And if you inhale them, it causes a severe respiratory infection called histoplasmosis.
Wow. So you can't just go up there with a broom.
Definitely not. The Critter Squad doesn't just sweep up. They use specialized vacuums, antimicrobial treatments, and full protective gear to neutralize those spores.
And what about the other animals, like the raccoons and the rats?
That introduces another layer entirely, the pheromone beacon.
The pheromone beacon.
Yeah. Animals communicate chemically. They leave behind pheromones in their urine and their droppings.
Okay.
And those pheromones soak deep into the wood framing and the insulation of your house. It acts like a glowing chemical neon sign that basically screams to other animals, vacancy, safe, predator-free zone here.
Oh, wow. So even if you catch the animal, that scent remains.
Exactly. If you remove a raccoon and you fix the hole with some basic spray foam, but you fail to enzymatically break down those pheromones in the attic.
Another one's going to come.
Yep. A new raccoon from the neighborhood will smell that neon sign. They will know another animal lived there safely, and they will rip that spray foam right out to claim the space.
So decontamination is what actually breaks the cycle of infestation.
Precisely. It physically erases the chemical map to your house.
Man, when you lay out the sheer physics and biology involved here, I mean, the jaw strength of a rat, the maternal drive of a raccoon, these chemical beacons left behind, it really puts their service guarantee into a completely new perspective.
It really does.
Because the source highlights that all work performed by the Critter Squad, Inc. is backed by a 100% written guarantee.
And in the context of nature, a 100% guarantee is a massive statement.
Right.
Nature is relentless. Wild animals have millions of years of evolutionary drive pushing them to find shelter and raise their young.
Yeah, they don't care about your warranty.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Promising a homeowner that you can permanently defeat that drive is incredibly arrogant, unless your methodology is absolutely flawless.
Which goes right back to their military foundation, doesn't it?
It does.
In the military, you don't secure a perimeter 99%. A 1% breach is a total failure.
Exactly.
Zach and Taylor Homan are applying that exact standard to these properties. They are putting their name on the line in writing because their operational process just eliminates those vulnerabilities.
And you see that operational confidence in their logistics, too.
Right. How so?
Well, they offer a free price quote over the phone, and they are available 7 days a week. They take calls day and night for active problems.
Because an active breach compounds damage by the hour. I mean, a bat flying around your living room or a raccoon tearing through your ceiling doesn't pause for the weekend?
No, it definitely doesn't. And once they arrive on site, the transparency is absolute.
What's their process there?
They identify the species, they locate every single entry point, and they explain the entire tactical plan to the property owner before a single tool is lifted.
That's reassuring.
Yeah, the source explicitly notes they do not cut corners because wildlife problems that are not resolved completely tend to come back.
Right. So to kind of synthesize all of this, the value the Critter Squad brings to property owners is that they recognize this is a multidisciplinary crisis. You need an animal behaviorist to outsmart the wildlife, a specialized contractor to fortify the building envelope, and a biohazard technician to neutralize the chemical and biological threats left behind.
Yeah.
And it is all rolled into one professional service.
It really is a comprehensive defense strategy for your property.
So for you listening, if you are in Brazoria County or the greater South Houston area and you are hearing those scratches in the wall at 2 a.m. or finding mysterious damage along your roofline, do not let the problem multiply.
Do not wait.
Exactly. You can reach Zach and Taylor Homan's team at the Critter Squad directly for a phone quote by calling 713-396-6030. Their headquarters is located at 2815 Nickel Canyon Drive, Rosharon, Texas, 77583. Again, the number to call is 713-396-6030. Let the professionals execute the operation the right way the very first time.
You know, walking through all these intense mechanics today leaves me with a thought I just can't quite shake.
Oh, yeah.
What's that?
Well, when we pour a concrete foundation and put up drywall, we assume we have built this permanent wall between ourselves and nature. Right?
Sure, we think we're separate.
But when you look at the relentless biology that the Critter Squad has to engineer against, like the collapsing rib cages, the chemical beacons, the incredible strength of these animals, it makes you realize something profound.
What's that?
To the bats, the raccoons, and the rats, our houses aren't separate from the environment at all. Our attics and wall voids are the environment.
Oh, wow.
It makes you wonder, how much of our heavily built modern world is actually just shared habitat, constantly waiting to be reclaimed the second we let our guard down.